Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and today we are going to be looking at the modeling tools available in Unreal Engine, asking ourselves the question, can we replace Max, Maya, or Blender in our workflow and actually do our modeling directly inside of Unreal Engine? The answer, bit of a spoiler, no, but wow, do we come close. And given time, you could probably actually start doing your modeling entirely in Unreal Engine. The tools need a little bit of love on the user interface side, but you're going to be shocked by what you're about to see. So if you didn't know already, Unreal Engine added a new ability. It is enabled via a plugin. So go here to plugins, search up here for Mesh like so, and it is Modeling Tools Editor right down here. Modeling Tools Editor mode, that is what you want to enable. Turn that on. It's going to ask you to restart Unreal, and then once you're set, we are good to go. Do note over here, beta version 0.1. And I'm going to tell you, you are going to be amazed at what you can do with a 0.1 beta. So now that we've got that done, let's go ahead and create ourselves a new level to work from. All right, here we are in our default. With that plugin now enabled, you will notice if you go to modes, there is now a modeling mode. It's also available via Shift 6. You'll see over here, we are now in the modeling tool right there, and we have a collection of primitives available at the top. So for example, I can go into box mode, and I can start making boxes. I also have the ability to apply materials to those boxes. So for example here, and I can create textured boxes. Now this isn't really that special as of yet. You can already do this with built-in primitives. So what is so new here? Stay tuned, you are going to see. By the way, when you want to commit a tool, go ahead and say complete and you are done. You're going to notice it created a number of assets to go along with those tools. You've also got the ability to create things like spheres, like so. Again, they're using the default material. We can, of course, clear that and create new ones without it. So you've got the ability to easily create a variety of different assets using the primitives tool. You also have the ability, if you so wish, so let me just get rid of all these things. You can work with the built-in tools as well. We've also got tools over here under Create. And these are more like from scratch-ish kind of creation. So for example, if you want to add some polygons, you can literally do a polygon draw on your screen and then an extrude, create a shape that way. You've also got the ability, once you're done, once again, click complete to finish that tool. We also have the ability to do revolving poly. This is basically like a revolve loft. You're going to see here there is this plane. I could do it on either axis of the plane. And then we just do a shape on that plane and close it. And there you see it did a loft of that object. Now I'm inside of my other object, so you're not really seeing it. But if you wanted to create an urn or something along those lines, this easily enables you to do that. We've also got the ability to do voxel wraps. Now voxel wraps are really kind of cool. They basically create a mesh around another object. So I'm gonna get rid of my extrusion object. I'm gonna get rid of that object here, and I'm gonna show you with the built-in. So I'm gonna take this cube here like so. We will triple the x, well, that's y, I mean, the x will be a 1.5 like so. All right, there we go. Now let's get this guy out of the ground. Ta-da! Okay, so there we got that guy. By the way, if you're using these tools, what you're gonna probably wanna do is turn your camera speed down a bit. The default is painful with 4. You just snap around way too much. Here, let me switch that up to 2. All right, so there we go. We got our basic shape here. So now what I'm doing basically is creating a Lego block. I'm going to duplicate that guy, and we will drag that down there. All right, so with all of those objects created, select each and every one of them, and then we can come over here and we can use these various different voxel tools. The easiest one would be wrap, and basically this is going to create a wrap around those objects. So think about it like vinyl wrapping your car. Well, this is basically creating a polygonal object around other objects by wrapping it with a voxel mesh. Go back here to your modeling options. You've got details. You can control over the number of voxels that are used to create the surface. You can have it auto simplify. If there's some details that you don't think are needed, it will pull them out for you. Give it a second while it figures things out. So there you go. And then when you're done, you got the option of picking what to do. You can have it automatically delete your source files like so. And then if you're good, say yep. So you see here we have cube and 2 cylinders. I'm gonna click apply. Those both go away, and now we're left with just our solid. So that is how the voxeling wrap works. So you've got nice primitive creation tools. You can create things from curves and paths and polygons. You can also create things out of voxel wraps. You can also have done the same thing via booleans, by the way. So there is a bunch of options for creating from raw primitives, as you saw there. And of course, you've got a selection of primitives built in here as well. And then we're getting in over here. In the transform side, you're not going to be doing too much here. You can bake in your transform. So if you want your scale and rotations all set in there, you can go ahead and bake those in. You can also duplicate and combine objects up here, transform and select them. But mostly you're going to be in tools here, 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 and here. So deform, this is where the magic starts to happen. We can do quite a bit of cool stuff here. One of the things we can actually do is remesh our object. So we can sit here and say, okay, remesh this guy, and we can give a target polygon count. So if we wanted to do it, let's see what it can do. With 100 polygons, that's what it would create. Let's say we're going to sculpt this guy. Let's do 6,000 instead, and you got control over how it should remesh. But that is basically what this tool is all about. So we got a nice density to work with. Let's go ahead and accept that remesh polygon shape here. And now we've got a pair of sculpts here. We have Sculpt Mesh and then Liquid Sculpt. I really can't tell the difference between these two. There's no real documentation here. This one seems to be a more organic or fluid meshing. So if I start bringing things out, it'll bring it out accordingly. I think I just broke stuff, so I'm going to undo that. I typically go with Sculpt right here, and you're going to notice there are a number of different sculpting tools. So you notice here, we got some weird tessellation going on the side there. It may not look great. So let's say we just want to do a smooth. We come in here, and we can apply a smooth brush. We can start bringing that, slopping that guy down like so, and we can smooth the heck out of it. There we go. We've also got tools over here for saying inflate. So let's make this guy, give it some warps. We can do that all over the place here. And we can just make this guy a warty looking Lego brick. So that's wart out there, wart here, and so on. We've also got tools. Your traditional, obviously, move you're going to use quite a bit. That's for moving existing geometry without creating anything new. What you would probably often be doing is a sculpt, which is what you would probably do instead of move. Generally, let me just show you that on the other side. Whoa, I made that brush so much bigger. Did not intend to do that. Also, you control the size here, by the way. And you control the laziness and so on also there. So let me just get over on that side. Come on, you can do it. So on this side, we've got the traditional Sculpt Brush. I made it a little too big. Let's go down there. And that will pull the surface out, traditional sculpting approach, like so. And then once you are done and you're happy with your results, you can click accept, and there are your results. So you got some really cool capabilities here. You got full sculpting built in. As you saw, there are a number of different tools out there. If you don't want something, you can just do a cancel and it'll completely undo that particular tool stack. You got tools for mirroring what you've created. Another neat one here is plane cut. This is cutting along the plane. You see in action there. So you can see we're cutting down. Let me just go to the very top. You can see there, surface cut. So we're cutting wherever that plane intersects. We've also got the ability to cut on both sides, and we can change how much to keep on each side of that cut. There you can see our cut in action, as so, and we're getting a top half and a bottom half. I commit this one or say, yeah, I accept that. You will see we now have two pieces. So the other half and then the other half. So each one can be dealt with independently after you do the plane cut. So that's a neat little tool there as well. And you got paint maps here. This isn't what you're thinking. This is for painting attribute maps. So that's not really what we want at this particular point in time. And let me just go back to a primitive here. Let's create a sphere as a starting point. All right, there we go. So we got our primitive made there. So that was your deformation tools, things like sculpting and cutting and so on. What I can also do now is come into polygroups. I don't know what I'm waiting to complete. Okay, here we go. So we have our new sphere. What I could do is say, okay, make this guy into a polygroup. Yeah, I'm happy with that. You've got options for how to do so. All right, we're good to go. And we'll accept that. Now what I can do is start actually editing this guy as just raw polygon form. So we've got kind of two approaches to editing polygons. We've got Polyedit, which is literally face by face, vertex by vertex, etc. Selection mode is pretty much dynamic. So when I pick to it, it should just figure out what I want. I'm on phrasing. Let's go. So you can use this guy to basically, your traditional polygon modeling is done this way, but you're also going to notice there are a number of tools here. So I'm going to shift select these four faces right here. You see we've also got things over here. Like I said, the UI could definitely use some work, but every single traditional polygon tool I can think of other than two that are kind of weirdly missing. One is bridge, and I can see why that's not there, but oddly enough, there's no bevel edge. That's it. The biggest missing feature that I would just assume would be here is the ability to bevel an edge, and you can't. So there you go. We're extruding along the normal in this case. So you can start bringing out, and then you can just basically keep doing this as much as you wish, and you can do your traditional box modeling approach like so. So that's kind of that's the idea here. As I mentioned earlier on, you got the ability to dynamically switch between vertex, edges, and so on. Your edge tools are a little bit lesser, but let's say we want to straighten the edge up. We should be able to. Why did you deselect? Grab those guys and do straighten, And then you can also do, I think I can get down to individual vertex. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to select them, but we can also do an individual vertex and move it around accordingly. So you've got your full set of box modeling tools in here. Oh, I can't straighten that selection. No idea why. Okay. So I'm going to cancel out so we haven't done any of that stuff. But you see, you've got some pretty powerful tools in there in the polygon edit mode. You've also got the deform mode. Now, this seems to be just more of a free form, if you set the fall off. You can translate or rotate as a result. You got deformation type of smooth or linear. So this is for more almost like sculpting with polygons, like so. You've got ability control over snapping, etc. And I'm going to once again not fit that. So you've got kind of a free-form version and then a face-by-face, edge-by-edge, vertex-by-vertex version in that one. And then we've got the ability to do edge insertions. This one's pretty straightforward. You select one, you select the other, and you can basically create an edge in between. So I could just kind of keep going. Kind of like a knife tool, really. And then we've got straight out loop cuts. So I can do a loop insert, and then same kind of concept. I just pick where I want it to go, and we can start cutting faces and edges and so on into our shape. Pretty powerful stuff on the whole. And then we've also got the ability to edit attributes. I'm not going to get into that. Under the triangle side, we can do straight up triangle editing. Again, we got another remeshing here. You got the ability to weld edges and so on. Then under UV normals, we've got a number of different things for controlling the UV mapping. Speaking of which, let's go back here to the polygon groups. I think, one second. Oh wait, no, I want to go back to the triangles mode right here. And one thing you're going to notice on here, so we've got the ability to do things like filling holes, remeshing. Once again, same kind of concept as before. We can say how many meshes we want to make out of this guy. Again, I don't want to add complexity at this point in time. We also got the ability to go the opposite direction. You can simplify your mesh down. So you got various different simpling algorithms available to you that will make your mesh simpler, cancel that out. But what I actually find kind of most interesting here is actually this one. So you've got material editing mode available right here. So this tool allows you to modify the mesh based on a triangle selection, cycles through selection. That is a pretty useless tool tip. What it allows us to do basically is apply materials. What I can do is basically sit here and go, all right, you guys right there, all right, y'all look good. Okay, what I'm going to do, pick a material from my world, pretty much at random. All right, there we go. So that one right there, I can go ahead now and say assign the material. And what that's going to do, why are you not updating? All right, there we go. So we just assigned the material to everything. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a second material. So let's go ahead and apply a second one. Let's go ahead and pick what we want it to be. All right, we'll go with that guy right there. So now I'm going to pick the selected material as number 2. Or I guess technically 1, depends if you're from Lua land or not. And then with that select, I can go ahead and we can paint some surface right here. Okay, and now I can apply my selected material, which is 1, which is this guy right here, to the faces I currently have selected. There you go. So what you're seeing here is I'm basically doing real-time texture painting inside of Unreal Engine on a mesh model that I created entirely inside of Unreal Engine with multiple materials on the same model. It's actually, in some ways, this is easier to work with than a lot of the content creation apps out there. So this is one of those areas where it's definitely getting nice. You got control over how your selection works. So for example, I can come down, let's go on down here. We can let's add one more material to the mix. Let's pick something that looks a little bit different. What's gonna stay? All right, there we go, gold. All right, so what I can do with that gold selected, I can come down here. Let's make number 2 the selected material. I can go in here. I can select a couple of these. You'll see I have tools here. I can grow my selection out like so. And then finally, let's add some gold in there. So as you can see, you can do multi-texturing really, really easily inside of Unreal Engine 4.26. So that is some of your triangle stuff. Speaking of texturing, you've also got tools in here for UV and normal maps. So I can actually edit the UVs. I can have you just say, okay, well, auto unwrap this guy, have a couple of different options for how to do it and controls over how to do it there. I don't actually want to do that because it munged up my map. We've also got the ability to apply UV projection maps. So we're sitting here, we just applied UV map of type cube. Obviously, it probably makes a little bit more sense to, oh, there's still spherical mapping. That's weird. So we could do cylindrical mapping, or we could do planar mapping, like so. And that will apply a new set of UVs on there. So I don't actually want to do that. You also have the ability to come in and edit the UVs. Cancel that out. Transform the UVs. Throw the checkerboard in there. See the material of the UVs. Yeah, that should have worked. All right, go ahead and do an accept. I think this might overwrite my existing material. No, it doesn't. UV layout. Oh, here we go. So here you can see your UV as it's applying to your underlying material and the UVs on your particular object. So you've got control over, UV mapping of your actual object there too. Now, one of the things that really kind of sucks with this release is there is very little documentation on any of this. So good luck figuring it out. There's a lot of it's somewhat, straightforward and normal and intuitive. Some of it is trial and error, 100%. You've also got the ability to bake out your maps. All kinds of maps, ambient occlusion, curvature, 2D texture map, normal map, face normal, position, image map. You can bake all of those particular things out. Select the map first, then detail map second will be created when I click accept. So if I accept that, it will bake these out at 256 by 256. So if you're going to export these out to your tool of choice, which by the way, you can export out from Unreal Engine to say FBX if you wish. So you can actually use this to model in Unreal Engine and export it out to Blender, Max, or Maya and keep working from there. You can also do this on existing scenes or maps. So for example, let me just go back here. So file, oh wait, no, I need my, one sec. Need my contact browser back. We go back over here. Let's go ahead and look at starter content. And I want my maps. There's my map. All right. Advanced lighting, minimal default starter map. Let's load that one up. We're not gonna save any of what we've just done. All right, here we go. Ooh, that was not what I meant. I want the other one. Was it minimal default? Don't save. Go ahead. There we go. So here we are in this world. Again, I can switch into modeling mode. I could switch into, say, deformation mode. Select this guy right here, this lovely chair we have in our world. And let's say I just want to modify something that's already in the world of Unreal Engine. I can come in here and I can just start sculpting. So I can say, let's sculpt normal. Let's add some bulge here, like so. Yeah, that's all nice. Okay, yeah, that's good. That looks sweet. Now let's go ahead. Let's put some smoothing on that guy. And we can smooth that guy back out, make a really ugly looking chair, like so. All right, good. And then we are done. It'll do its best. We've actually got the same ability. Let's grab this table over here. I could go over here. I could go into the triangle mode. I could go into edit materials. I could grab all these top faces, like so roughly. Like that, yeah, that looks good. Okay, top of my table. All right, all good. So now I can go ahead and I could add another material on this guy, for example. Let's go down here and make this guy wood pine. Yeah, that sounds great. All right, there we go. Let's select our selected second and assign material. So you've got the ability for the objects that are already in your scene, or if you just want to do some quick changes or so over to your map, or you want to retexture part of your level or whatever, or let's say I want to grab this floor down here and make it really wobbly. All right, there we go. So there is my floor in place, already that mesh selected. I can come over here. Oops, I guess I should apply that. So there we got our lovely new oak table here, and our floor is way too boring, way too flat. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to apply a displacement. There we go. So we added a Perlin noise displacement. I don't really like that. Let's do concentric circles instead. So I'm going to switch this over to a sine wave, like so. We will give it a second. Wait a minute. Select you. That was not what I wanted. All right. I will do, oops, that was definitely not what I wanted. I'll do a displace, sine wave. Ooh, that's a very spiky looking floor. All right, let's get that back down to normal. There we go. 2, 3, 4. Let's change it. Oh, I can't change the seed here for some reason. All right. So anyways, you can see now we have a wobbly floor if you so wish. So you see how you can easily integrate and use this guy in your particular scene. We'll go ahead and apply that. And once again, you have sculpting control over everything out there as well. So you can work this guy into your existing scenes and do a lot dynamically there. It's actually quite shocking, again, how much capability is built into this new add-on for it. So once again, if you want to check that one out, you do have to come in here, edit to polygons, find mesh. It is called the Modeling Tools Editor Mode 0.1 alpha or beta, by the way, so do keep that in mind. But this works way beyond that, and there's a ton of tooling in here. Again, documentation, borderline non-existent, but you can start doing some pretty amazing stuff in here. You can do your block level editing without having to use CSG type approach. You can literally just start doing rough map leveling in here, and you start texturing your shapes in here, and then you can come in here and start sculpting details as well. The two areas I haven't really touched on, you can take any particular shape you want. For example, this floor. Let me just move back out here a bit, and let's select that guy. Move that so it's kind of a little bit on its own. We've also got the option, if you want to make this a volume, you can do that. Come here to volume, and create a mesh to a volume, or to a BSP to static mesh conversion, turn that into a volume. So there you go. We can now say, okay, and now that is a volume in space. So if you wanted to model out, you know, a trigger area for someone to be in, or a physics confined for gas to blow into, you could create volumes that way. You can also particularly grab a volume and turn it back into a mesh using this guy right here. Now your end result is going to be a little messed up, but that is an option that's available to you. And finally, there are hair tools. And I got to admit, 100%, I have no idea how to get any of the hair stuff working. And whenever I press Cards Editor, it crashes my computer. So that one, we're not going to explore today because, quite frankly, it's a little too early for even me. But as you saw, there are a lot of tools in here and some really cool stuff you can do already at a 0.1 release. And this is just it's gonna get better and better with time. I'm staggered at how powerful these tools actually are at this point already. Again, full polygon modeling tools built in here. We've got the ability to do things like extrusions, insetting, like so. You can't really tell on top here, but I'll show you once I move that down. That's what an inset is. The only thing that I find really strangely missing is the edge tools are a little minimalistic. There's, oddly enough, no ability to bevel an edge. No idea why. And it seems like, I wonder if I can straighten this edge. Let me just try. Grab those three, edge, straighten. Nah, it just doesn't work. Okay, I don't know. But there's no bevel edge. I do not know why that's the case, but you've got pretty much the full suite of box modeling tools are now in there, which is quite impressive. I was quite shocked the extent of what you can actually do in here. And the funny thing is they've also added the ability to do dynamic IK stuff in here, so you don't have to rig in another program. So think about that right now. You can do primitive creation, you can do polygonal modeling, you can sculpt, and you can animate and texture all in Unreal Engine. Is it more efficient than using Max, Maya, or Blender right now? For the most part, no. For certain use cases, definitely. Like if you're just coming in here and you want to tweak something in your level, say you don't like the look of this mesh right here and you wanted to come in and change it slightly, this is kind of a perfect tool for doing that kind of thing. I can't do that. So what I have to do, sorry, I jumped the gun here. I'd have to turn this into a polygon group, and then good, and then I should be able to do deformation on it, like so. So if you want to just do a little bit of tweaking on your polygonal data that you pulled in from another tool, you can easily do that in here. And for other things, like I said, like the multi-texturing, it's easier in here than in any tool out there, which is kind of shocking. And this is a 0.1 release. So it's definitely immediately useful now. If you want to do changes, small tweaks to your level, you don't have to do that round trip back to your content creation tool of choice. And if you're just creating simple primitives like a house or something, really kind of simple in here. If you want to start doing, if you wanted to create a high rise, you can basically start it with just create a cube, or we could create, we've even got the ability to create a lot of cubes going on at the same time. And then you could go ahead, once you're done, grab one of those cubes and you can start tweaking it as you wish. So we could come here, we could go ahead and, I want to do poly groups. That's good. So we could just do poly editing. I don't know if I have to convert this guy or not. No, so then we can start doing that. And then let's say, oh, wait, no, I wanted to have this skyscraper have a little jut out on the side. Okay, then what I'm just going to do is come in here, we'll do a loop cut. Looking good, all right, loop cut there, sure. Now I can come in here, we'll set up that guy, and then I'll go back to polygon editing. Let's grab my new face here, and we can just extrude that guy out, and then off you go. Oh, let's bring this guy up here, same deal, extrude, off you go. And you can do full-blown, start prototyping your level right in here. Then you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's time to start doing some texture mapping. Okay, let's head on over here, edit materials. We can start applying textures to this guy. Okay, let's get this one. Let's put a building texture on this guy's face, and then boom. So then we've got a texture applied to it, apparently to all of them. That was a little weird. But they were all created as, no, they're all different boxes. I was not expecting that behavior to happen. Anyways, you can see how you can start using all of these things together to start prototyping your levels directly in here. And once again, you can actually export out data from here as FBX files. I've done a video on it elsewhere. So you can pull the stuff that you prototyped out to your tool of choice for finishing work. And this is a hell of a new tool in your toolbox. So does it replace Max, Maya, or Blender? No, not yet. Will it soon? Well, no, not really. It might for parts of your workflow for sure. And if you don't want to learn those tools, you're just creating prototypes or whatever, like something for your artist to pick up, you're just blocking it out or whatever, you 100% can work entirely in Unreal Engine and just send that information off to your artist for them to take it and tweak. So even right now at a 0.1 release, this tooling is powerful. So anyways, let me know what you think of this in general and some of the monstrosities we created today. What do you think of the future of Unreal Engine? Do you see the day where Unreal Engine is an all-in-one tool for creating games end-to-end? It's getting there. They're getting stronger and stronger animation tools, special effects tools, texturing tools, UV mapping tools, sculpting tools. What are we missing? Let me know. Comments down below, and I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.